afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our August Director's Cut, our oil and gas update for North Dakota for the months of June and July. Thank you all for turning out or tuning in, and really appreciate it. So we'll start with some statistics. It was a surprise, I think, to myself and all the staff. We saw a 2.5% decline in oil production. And I think we were anticipating a slight increase and actually anticipating that we would reach that 1.1 million barrel a day mark. So we've been digging into that a little bit. The most likely reason is that we had very few completions in the month of June. We only had 27 completions in the month of June. And although we saw a major increase in the number of completions, I have to look here now at July numbers. Yeah, it jumped to 74 in July and 66 in August. Those came late in the month, and so that production didn't probably hit the oil sales until the last week or so of the month of July. And we were entering August with very, very strong looking numbers. And then we had the situation with Northern Border, but so that put major restrictions on our gas export capacity. And then we also had the Robinson Lake turnaround in August. So we were just starting to reap the benefits of the major uptick in completions in July. And then we ran into those two things. So our target, 1.1 million, 1.2 million barrels a day is pushed back with a 2.5% decline in oil production. Now, interestingly enough, natural gas production actually increased. So even though oil production dropped 2.5%, natural gas was up 1.3%. So very strong return to that increasing gas oil ratio trend. That likely was due to reducing oil production and being very cautious with that. I think a little bit of exciting, good news, light at the end of the tunnel, if you want to put it that way. If you look at August drilling permits, that is the first time we have permitted over 100 wells since October of 2019. So that is a very long run, almost 3 years. And so that's encouraging. That would indicate that even though we didn't reach that 1.1 million barrel a day mark that we have been talking about, it is likely coming, and even the march towards 1.2 with that kind of permitting activity. So that's exciting to see us get over 100 permits, and that happened in the month of August. Happy to see the duck well count, the waiting on completion, drop a little bit more. We'd like to see that faster, but it is dropping. And very happy to see the inactive well count drop by almost 100 wells. So when we look at a couple of other items, moving away from the statistics, we had talked last month about OPEC extending their run of production increases by a couple of months. Not a lot, but 100,000 barrels a day. They met this week and canceled that. So in light of the weak oil markets and the demand destruction that has taken place with the economies of Europe and the US, OPEC decided that putting an additional 100,000 barrels a day on the market in August and again in September was a very bad idea. And so they've canceled those increases. Rig count has really pretty much stalled out in the mid 40s. And what we continue to hear, the steady drumbeat, that it's a skilled workforce problem, that we just are unable to attract the skilled labor that we need in order to deploy more drilling rigs and more frac crews. We gained a rig in August from July to August and then lost that again today, whereas New Mexico saw about a 5 rig increase. So The Permian Basin is seeing some success in adding workforce and adding rigs and frac crews, and the Williston Basin is not. So we are looking at what do we do? How do we work with commerce or job service to try to promote the opportunities that we have here in North Dakota? And I think you heard some stuff earlier this week. Governor Burgum is very focused on this, and one of the areas is childcare that he's trying to work on to improve this situation. Agreed to not permit the wells for those leases. So we have done an analysis of the impact of that out of those sales, and it's a combined Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming lawsuit and settlement. So it's 113 leases. 55 of those, almost half, are in North Dakota. And it's about 9,600 acres that are affected. Those acres impact, in 5 cases, state leases that will not see development as a result, or delayed development, and probably 5 times as much private mineral acres that will not see development or delayed development. So we've evaluated the impact to state revenues, and it's about $8 million a month. So every month that those permits are delayed, the state of North Dakota loses through production tax, extraction tax, sales tax, income tax on those private minerals, and the share of federal royalties and trust land royalties. And this is at $50 oil. So the current impact is significantly higher than 8 million, but at a minimum, $8 million a month of negative impact for every month of delay as a result of that settlement. The whole lawsuit, the settlement, is about the fact that the NEPA analysis on those leases did not include the social cost of carbon emissions, which is probably the most undefined terms I can think of. And so it's going to be really problematic. I can't envision a scenario where that is quickly remedied. And so as the clock ticks away, the citizens of North Dakota are losing $8 million a month in revenue from the 130 wells whose permitting and drilling is delayed.